back to Libib's booktube channel. I'm your host Kaylin and welcome back to another bookish video. Today I'm currently sitting on the floor so you get a little bit of a different angle of my bookshelves. I have filmed a reading vlog. Like, I was having a very successful reading month in September. I had a reading weekend. I don't know what happened to that vlog. And then I tried filming this wrap-up video and then that didn't work. Definitely had the wrong camera settings. And then today I'm trying to film and I'm missing the little chunk to my tripod. So now my camera is sitting on a chair with a stack of books. And while the universe may be against me talking about all the books I read in September, I wanted actual proof because I actually read some books. And by some books, I mean 6 to be exact. So today we are going to be talking about my September wrap up and the 6 books that I read in the month. So let's get started. So first up in this wrap up, I read Narwhals, School of Awesomeness by Ben Clanton. I ended up rating this 3 out of 5 stars. This book talks about narwhal and jelly. They're swimming through the ocean one day and they meet a school of fish and they follow them and they realize school's canceled because Mr. Blowfish is sick. So Narwhal saves the day and becomes the teacher. This book also has some wonderful fun facts, and then at the end we have our waffle cartoon that we typically have. So I ended up rating this 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was just an average read. It didn't feel like it had that narwhal magic that it normally has, so I was a little upset. I feel like it's one of the shorter books of the series. I could be wrong, but it just didn't feel like the substance was there like with the others in the series. I did like that this book is perfect to read, specifically if you're going back to school. So I overall thought it was an average read. I just felt like it was missing some narwhal magic. Next up is a comic series that I've continued, and I read volume 2 of Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan. I loved this. I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Paper Girls takes place in the wee morning hours after Halloween, and they're delivering papers and some funky weird stuff is going on. And now we are time hopping to modern day 2016. So it's interesting to see the girls time jump and also face what's going on currently. I am loving the thrill of I don't know who I can trust and like who are the bad guys, who are not, like are they all on the same team, are they not? I love this series so much, and I'm currently reading the 3rd volume, so expect a wrap up of that in next month's wrap up. Next up is another book that was just an average read for me, and that is The Sleepover by Michael Regina. The Sleepover takes place where our main character Matthew, his family has a nanny, so it's the mom, the younger sister, and Matthew and the nanny. And the nanny just goes one day and they're putting out ads. Matthew's kind of dealing with the loss of this nanny that he loved so dearly, and then they get a new nanny and she is anything but good. They have their hesitations, they don't trust her, they don't like her, and so these boys have a sleepover one night and discover all the hidden spooks about their new nanny. I ended up rating this 3 out of 5 stars. I felt like this book was definitely not taking a turn that I thought it was. The first half was just really kind of sad because we're talking about the nanny dying and finding a replacement, and Matthew's having a hard time to cope with some things. And then it doesn't really get into all that spookiness, and then the book's kind of over. Another thing about this book that was like, was a character went missing and we never found out what happened to them. So that was that. Missing person, MIA, just like my reading vlog and this video finally getting uploaded. But yeah, I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was just an average read. I thought it would be more spookier than it actually was. Next up is a book that I started earlier this year and that I finally finished, and that is Lore Olympus Volume 1 by Rachel Smith. And it's about Hades and Persephone's falling in love, and that's all I really know. I ended up rating this 4 out of 5 stars. It really is more like a 3.5 because honestly, I started this book and then by the time I picked it back up, I really didn't know what was going on. And so I was like, yeah, this kind of makes sense. So towards the end of the book though, the second time I picked it up to finish it, I really enjoyed the ending, and honestly it made me purchase volume 2 because I'm excited to see where the storyline goes. I love that the art is just so beautiful and whimsical. Like, look at this. It's just so pretty. And I love the contrast of blue and pink that goes on. Overall, I really enjoyed the artwork and the art style and the colors. That's why I'm rating it so high, because I kind of forgot about the first half, but the second half totally made up for it once I finished it, because I necessarily wasn't hooked in the beginning, but I definitely was hooked towards the end, enough to buy the second volume. So next up is another book that I feel like every other book has been either good or average, and this one is kind of below average, and that is Brightly Woven by Alexandra Bracken, adapted by Lee Dragoon, and art by Kit Seaton. As much as I want to give this a 3 out of 5 star, the more I think about this book, the more I want to give it a 2.5 out of 5. So our main character, Seidel right here, she is a weaver. She's really awesome and great at the work she does. And then she crosses paths with Waylon, who is a wizard. And so they kind of have to go and save the kingdom from the doom, you know? I just, it's a very, very short graphic novel. I get it, I understand it, but I felt like the book moved way too fast, full of teenage angst and love. Fine, that's cool, but I feel like the story needed to be fleshed out a little bit more. Like, this story just needed to be longer, or maybe there needed to be a volume 2 or 3, I don't know, but there needed to be more in the story with the dialogue and the story building and the plot and whatnot. Also, the villain sucked at being a villain because he was there for like a 2 whole seconds, and he didn't seem that scary or threatening or really anything. What a waste. What a waste of a villain that could have probably been better. So overall, you know what? Instead of giving it 3 stars, I'm gonna give it 2.5. As much as I love Alexandra Bracken, this just was not for me. Okay, and last but not least, the last book that I finished in the month of September is Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. And this book talks about our main character, Beetle, and she has her little blob ghost friend who currently is like stuck in a mall, and our friend, Beetle's friend Kat, has since gone away but has come back, and her evil aunt is out to bulldoze the mall, and so that means Blob Ghost is gonna go if they don't find a solution, and fast. I love how our friendship blossoms throughout the story. There's a little bit of romance and whatnot, and I really liked that this book had a bunch of fall and spooky vibes to it. Not like spooky scary, but this whole book screams Halloween. Halloween, fun, lighthearted. Overall, I just enjoyed the story. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, and it wasn't the greatest story, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants to be in the Halloween fall mood for the rest of this month. This is a good book to pick up. Anyways, those are the 6 books that I read in the month of September, and I was so pumped to read a majority of them for my rating vlog that if I ever find, I will definitely upload. But anyways, what was your favorite book that you read in the month of September, or what are you currently reading? Let me know in the comment section down below. And anyways, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and that is gonna be it for this bookish video.